All right, how's everyone doing? I'll give it a little bit of time to warm up. Monday morning, we just had, it felt like we did a 24-hour boxing marathon. It was crazy yesterday. I just woke up. It's a holiday here in Australia. They call it the King's birthday. Australia's a Commonwealth. So it is a holiday. I woke up a bit later today, so I usually wake up at 5 a.m. I woke up today at 5:45 a.m. So I got to sleep in, just watching some of the boxing commentators giving their feedback on all the fights, and I'm still. What's up, Goat? How we doing, guys? Yeah, how'd you end up doing last night? The weekend was crazy. What's up, Landslide? Yeah, we so much boxing, man. By the time I'm watching, what's up, guys? Do we have any midweek cards? I'm looking at it right now. I got. You know me too well. You can't. Said, what's up? You can't trust these boxers. Yeah, Said, which one are you referring to? Because we had two main events scrapped. Most people were only talking about Keyshawn, but Justin Paldo was supposed to main event at the Pro Box card. Yeah, and he came in 3 pounds overweight. So the boxing schedule, obviously, we know that big card is Richardson Hitchens and George Cambosos. But there's a card in Mexico. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 cards this weekend. Nonito Donaire is 97 years old. He's fighting again. No, I'm kidding. Donaire's fighting again. He's in his 40s. Yeah. So your parlay streak. Good. The big parlay that I put together is the only money line loss I had was Joseph Hicks and Windy Toussaint. So the only money line loss I lost. The only money line fight I lost was the Joseph Hicks fight. I should have knew it when Joseph Hicks, before the fight, was comparing himself to Bernard Hopkins. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, shit. And Windy Toussaint beat that man up. Yeah, Said, we could 100% said, all right, I don't like, this is what I've been watching, Said, on YouTube. I've been watching interviews from Nair Albright's I Won 500 Betting Live. Mac. Congrats, guys. Everybody who won, congrats. I won a couple things early. I'll get to what I won, but I want to talk to Said real quick. I'm watching Nair Albright's teammate talk about what happened. What's up, Grant? I appreciate you. And Albright's teammate is the one who lost to Keon Davis with that body rip. Yeah, who's winning? Estrada and Arce. I'm breaking that fight down, Gold member. Give me a little bit of time today. I'm going to be starting my uploads of the week. But Nair Albright's teammate, who was in the locker room when Keon and Keyshawn came and started it, he just couldn't believe what he was seeing. He was saying how he looked up to Keyshawn and he was shocked. They thought Keyshawn and Keon were coming into the locker room to give them, props and do what fighters do. They were shocked when they were coming aggressive and he said he throws Albright up against the wall, and with that he headbutted him, which is insane. But yeah, there is money this weekend, guys. Dude, we get this carryover because due to the time difference where I'm at, I watched Fabio Wardley versus Justice Hooney at 6 a.m. Sunday morning, my time. And then I watched Jai Apataya at 11 p.m. So I was exhausted. By the time I'm watching Jai Apataya, my eyes were burning. It was insane. Who was Albright's teammate? Gold member. Albright's teammate is the guy who lost to Keon Davis. Noah, his name's slipping my mind. He got caught with that body rip. And he's in the same gym. I cashed out Hooney money line. They cashed me out my money back. Nice. I put money on Worley knockout. Nice, Mac. Look at my man pulling the magic trick. That's what I would call a magic trick. But yeah, I hit big early. I started the week off on fire. I hit a nice little prop bet with Josh Kelly with the stoppage early at $1.83. I went heavy on that. My long parlay, I sprinkled a little bit. I hit, I think, 19 out of 20. I lost the Joseph Hicks fight. But I also hit you guys, somebody on the feed kind of coerced me into betting on the UFC, and I hit huge on the UFC. I told you guys about it because I watch every fight. I told you guys about my boy Mario Batista. He beat Patchy Mix. I told you guys about Josh Van. He won. So I put together a little parlay. Didn't expect to hit. I hit that. I lost my knockdown parlay, even though we hit on the Justice Hooney fight, because I predicted Hooney to win, but I didn't bet on that money line. The only action I had on Hooney Wardley was the knockdown prop, which I hit, and then Nakatani is the only prop I didn't hit as well. Looked up Michael Velez. No. Great weekend of boxing. Matt, it wasn't Michael Velez. Go to YSN on YouTube. YSN has the interview I just watched. I'll pull it up. I wish I I follow the gym out of Philadelphia. His YouTube channel is called YSN Boxing, YSN Network, and he just put up an interview. That's a frustrating thing about knockdown props. Yeah, Nakatani stopped him, but no knockdown. And, man, Nakatani is everything that I told you he was. Nakatani is everything that we thought he is. No, he didn't knock him down. I know. He beat him up, though. And Nishida was tough, and we knew about that. And, Callum Simpson fight's still the best fight of the week. That fight was amazing. Naheem Parker, gold member. That's right. It was Naheem Parker. Good call. I wish there was a knockdown. I was so pissed, guys. Living in Australia, I pay so much money for all the streaming networks. I pay for KO, I pay for DAZN, I pay for ESPN Plus, and they didn't show the Norfolk card. I couldn't. The most frustrating thing about watching boxing and being a fan down here in Australia, even if you want to spend the money on watching certain fights, you won't have access to it due to international. So I didn't even get to see live the Norfolk card. I was pissed. I think Inoue would have to improve his defense before the fight. Yeah. The thing about they fight differently when we start comparing contrasting styles, Inoue versus Nakatani, their styles are different. Also, that fight's not going to happen next. I think we know Inoue's fighting in September against MJ. Only the fight is Andy Cruz moves. Yeah, Cruz isn't going to move up, I don't think. The whole boxing community was clowning Keyshawn, guys, and the Keyshawn brothers. It didn't sit well with so many of us, and we'll see what happens. Some people are saying it's wild to see in 24 hours the stock of that 26-year-old just went from here to here. You should have told me. I could have sent you a link. Next time, Goat, I will. Because I think I have to get a VPN to be able to watch it. Guys, wherever you are tuning in, could you please like this video? Let me know how the weekend went. Do you think Pillafist, Haney, and Key? I could see that happening, but I think isn't Devin campaigning for a fight at 47? Messed up thing is, even without Keyshawn there, DB3, I know a lot of you guys picked Kelvin to beat, to win, and, he didn't. I saw the highlights. I couldn't watch it live. Kelvin didn't look good. Nakatani was going to move up to 26 and face Espinoza. 26. He's going to skip 22 altogether. I think that the move with Nakatani, the rumor I heard, moving up to 26 to fight Rafa is insane. People are trying to get Bam at 15 to move up to 18 to fight Nakatani first. But for Nakatani to move up to 18 to 26 to fight Rafa and skip 22, I don't think that is a wise move. I don't think his handlers would do that. Rudy Hernandez is his coach. I bring him up all the time. Boxing coach out of East LA. He's had him since he was 15. That's what you heard? Okay. We'll see what happens. Would I watch that fight? Of course. I just don't think, from a business perspective, that would be the fight to make for Junto, especially when Junto has an Inoue fight on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? Why would you take a fight at 26 when you possibly have the biggest showdown in recent memory between two Japanese champions? Then Inoue move up to 126. Everything I'm hearing is Inoue is fighting MJ in September at 22. And Nakatani's going to take one more fight in 2025, and then they're going to meet in 2026. I think Nakatani could beat Espinoza. I don't know, man. It's really tough to do boxing math when you look at how Espinoza fights. I was confused at why Nakatani came out aggressive against what was his game plan. He was in Japan. I like the aggression. Two Japanese undefeated fighters. Inoue's in the crowd. These guys are fighters. I liked how he came out. I was all for it. Some people, some people say, if you read some of the naysayers on Nakatani, that he waits a little bit too long, but I like him at all three ranges. I think he's great at all, at range, using the jab. I think he's great mid-range, and I think he's great in the pocket. Are there a little bit of things that you can work on? Of course. We never watch a boxing match or a fighter and say they're perfect. I think the fight taking place would benefit Nakatani advantage over Inoue. Do you think Nakatani just didn't respect Reeves' power? I think when you get to when you have a guy like Nakatani who's been dominant his entire career, I'm not quite sure if his mindset in terms of his game plan is respecting or not respecting his opponent's power. I think he's just setting a game plan in motion. I think that he was using that aggression and output to fluster his opponent rather than him consciously thinking, this guy, I don't respect this guy's power. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that element, you have to come at it from a psychological perspective and understand what the fight prep was for, what they did in fight camp, and their game plan they wanted to execute. I just saw Nakatani executing a game plan. Now, would he have had to go to plan B if Nishida did have power? Yeah, then you would have had to see him make adjustments. So without that, I don't think it had anything to do with, I think it had more to do with Nishida not forcing Nakatani to respect his power. Because I feel sorry for Nakatani's next opponent when watching film. What do you prep for? I mean, you have to, depend. Is it a southpaw versus southpaw? If it is, you have to pair that lead hand. First, you have a couple issues you have to get past. That lead hand, you have to use movement. You definitely have to circle away from that power. Maybe get inside, work the body. Solid card next week, the Hitchens, Cambosos, Cruz. Yeah, Tito Mercado's on that card. Also, guys, on that card, you got Nishant Dev. Nishant Dev is the Olympian from India, which we don't really get to see a lot. He made his debut about a month ago, won by knockout. Hey, Johnny, hope you're good. I was impressed with Huni despite the loss. What did you make of the count? I thought the count was quick. I was on a comment section about Ford Kakashi and kind of made a comment that Ford ducked Nunes. He did. I don't know if he ducked him. Someone counter asked, who do you... Damn, a lot of... What are 3 keys to success to beat Nakatani if you're Inoue? Inoue has to, force Nakatani to fight him in the pocket the entire fight. Inoue can't fight Nakatani at range. He wants to knock out, have Inoue there. Of course. Yeah, Inoue can't, he's too small. He can't fight Nakatani at range. He has to work the body, break that body down, and make Nakatani fight Inoue's fight. Fight it in a phone booth. The dirtier that fight is, the better for Inoue. But we know both guys have that heart, that warrior spirit. It's great to see the boxing mainstream internationally are finally understanding that, we know it on this channel. We've been every chance we get, we document the Japanese fighters, whether they win or lose. I'm up on Takai. Takai is a guy who just won a world title at 118 2 weeks ago. He's a dog as well. I mean, granted, he knocked out a lesser Thailand fighter. I forget his name. But yeah, I cover so many fights here. Man, that would be an amazing fight. Yeah, so you got Nishit Dev on the undercard, Tito Mercado, Andy Cruz, Richardson Hitchens. You got Shakur Stevenson's cousin, who had a great amateur career, Zachwin Moses. I've had on the channel before. He's a nice little prospect. Yoshiki Takai. Well, his last fight, I was hyped. Maybe because I picked him to win by stoppage. The thing about Nunes is he lets his hands go, cuts off. Dude, there's a lot to love about Sugar. Look, when you talk about fighters that we like to attach, what's up, Dwayne? Happy Sunday to you. It's Monday morning for me. I just woke up. I'm in Australia. So wherever you guys are, like this video, support the channel. So I think it was Ford who turned down the fight. I don't see a lot of people putting their hand up to fight Sugar Nunes. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, people thought, he just went into Japan and became a world champion. Can't wait to watch the Tito Mercado fight. Yeah, same. Mercado's fighting Jonathan Montreal, who's 19-3. That's for a North American strap. Virginia, VA, baby. Appreciate you tuning in on a Sunday afternoon. There's a lot to talk about. We're already into it. 15 minutes in, the live stream's popping. Like this video. The first fight I'm gonna get out this week. I think I'm gonna do Mercado, Tito Mercado, and start with that fight. But like I said, Richardson Hitchens versus Cambosos, Andy Cruz versus Mashira, Mercado versus Montreal. Pablo Valdez is on the card. Nishant Dev. I'm excited for the guys in the amateurs turning pro. Yeah, there's a lot of guys about to turn over from the amateurs. I got to watch Johnny Says while doing laundry. That's what's up. I do my laundry on Sundays as well. There was just so much boxing yesterday. I still left mine in the laundry room. Did great this week. One big betting the over on Beaches Ferreira fight. Yeah, Havelock. Good look on that. Congrats on hitting the win. Tito Mercado got a mouthpiece, but so does Hitchens. I can see them fighting for sure. Tito's old mark. We have Tito's own cards on Friday. Hopefully we get them in our books. Terramona got added to the card too. Yeah, he was supposed to fight last night in Queensland, but they added him to the New York City card. And right now, like I said, I don't have that on my books either, guys. It's the only fight card on Sports Bet in Australia is the New York City card. But like I said, we have Nakatia looked terrible last night. Yeah, Junto's money, and so is Apataya. Next week we only have the Juan Francisco Estrada card, Nonito Donaire, Richardson Hitchens. There's a female card in Philly, Leanna Cruz and Regina Chavez. And then the following week, we have that Brian Norman Jr. card happening Thursday night in America, which is going down in Tokyo. So there's a lot of fights. Once again, we'll find some money. We'll piece together parlays and prop bets like we always do. There's definitely money to be made. We just got to wait for the odds to drop. Currently, let's see. They're not giving me anything. You know, there's no danger in looking ahead real quick. You're missing the Kurt Scobie Haskell Rhodes card. Yeah, it's not I'm not seeing it next week. Gold member, when's that card? Because they're not even giving it to me right now. Yeah, Kurt Scobie. Andy Cruz, Hitchens. Yeah, they're not giving me much. Like I said, it's only Monday morning here. We literally are less than 12 hours from Jaya Pataya breaking Claudio Scaio's jaw. Did you guys see that? If I'm going to U.S. Boxing this Saturday, super hyped for it. I love live boxing. If you guys watched the highlights of Jaya Pataya knocking out Claudio Scaio in the 5th round, and if you didn't watch that fight, I stayed up late to watch it. Did you have anything going on? Yeah, I did. I won on the Australian card. I picked a couple of the favorites, and I picked a stoppage. Didn't pay too much, like 3-1. But Apataya dropped Claudio Scaio in the 4th round with a brutal body shot that the ref didn't call a knockdown, and they called it a low blow, or the ref didn't like how Jai was clinching, so they didn't count it. It was clearly a knockdown and a knockout. They let the fight continue, and then the next round, Jai breaks his jaw. Oh, boxing is a brutal sport, mate. No, Ben Mahoney's fight got canceled, man. Yeah, he posted on his Instagram. That was the fight I wanted to see the most. Ben Mahoney was an MMA guy who's had a pretty decent boxing career since he went boxing. You know, I thought point out boxers win by knockout. Ray Ford fighting Kakachi. Yeah, they announced some fights last night when we were yesterday during our live stream. The Kakachi, Ray Ford. There's some other guys on that card. I haven't really got to sit with that fight announcement yet. Like I said, doing what I do on my channel, my mindset and focus is the fight right in front of me. Even when you guys ask me my opinion on an upcoming fight 2 weeks in advance, it's hard for me to focus on that because, you know, we got money to be made right here. And Muscles, I think Muscles is going to come on the show. He messaged me this morning. He won big this weekend. I favor for Norman over Sasaki. I'm leaning that way too. Yeah, Azim and Paldo. Yep, Paldo came in 3 pounds over. Fight canceled. Justin Paldo was supposed to headline in Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, sorry, apologize. My allergies are killing me this morning. I was that little kid growing up in Northeast Ohio who's allergic to everything. I'm allergic to dust, cut grass. I'm allergic to bees. I'm allergic to penicillin. So every morning when I wake up, I'm a bit like itchy-eyed and stuff. So I apologize. But yeah, Paulo missed weight, main event, didn't happen. Keyshawn missed weight, made it. Guys, something I want to bring up to you. Doesn't this make us think a little bit differently now how Keyshawn talked to Abdullah Mason? You know, that thing that went viral? Because you know damn well Keyshawn knew in that moment he wasn't going to make weight. And he was coming at Estrada fights this weekend, yep. Keyshawn was coming at Abdullah super wrong. You know, super kind of like twisted in my opinion. All the while he knew he wasn't going to make weight. That was insane. Yeah, Juan Francisco Estrada versus Kareem Arce Lugo. There's money to be made, guys. We're gonna figure it out as well. I know. Yeah, let me go over some of the other ones I hit so you guys know. My bets. Apataya. Yeah, somebody asked about the Australian card. I hit a 3-1. I hit a 7-leg parlay in Australia. Keyshawn did play himself. Oh, I heard. To stop a guy, something happens like the trainer running on the apron, or a guy spits in the mouthpiece, you will be sorry. Yeah, David Easter. Yeah, guys, and this was my first weekend experimenting with the stoppage, clout chase, and duck. Sorry, Johnny. Keyshawn. Yeah, Adam. Don't apologize. Torres did pretty good this week at one more bet. My parlay Thunder have to win tonight. Daniel Vega, let's go. I forgot there was dude. I forgot the finals were on. That just made my morning because I got this live stream with you boys. I got a little bit of editing to do to get the Tito Mercado video up. I'm going to train. I got to coach my girlfriend. I have to power lift, and then the playoffs are on. And then later on tonight, I'm just going to go hit the heavy bag. So I literally I work for myself. So I run my own business, and I literally am kind of the master of my calendar. So yeah, I put it out right. Hitchinson, Cambosos go the distance. I could see it going the distance, guys. Indy's up 1-0. I just rewatched George versus Jake Wiley. And George didn't fight well against Jake Wiley. And you guys know, the longer you're on my channel, I'll defend George Cambosos Jr. just because, you know, he dodges no smoke. I feel that George has done more with one win in boxing than anyone has ever done. I feel his dad, Jim, has managed his career perfectly. Since your channel involves talking about gambling, I would point that knockout, no DQ. No, David, but you got to understand, our options and our gambling odds are a bit different because some of the prop bets you guys get, I don't get in Australia. Also, respect for still having time doing these streams and videos, man. Hustle is important. Something will bring. Yeah. I have fun doing this. I wouldn't do this, guys, if I didn't have fun. Is it safe to say George Cambosos has the most? I don't think he has the most title shots. It's something to look at. Are we modern era? It's a good stat to look at. The last 10 years, it's a good stat to look at. But when you look at the golden era, you know, some guy, Cambosos, I wouldn't say privileged. I mean, I wouldn't say privileged. I just think that when you think about pecking order fights and when you think about guys you want on your, a scalp you want on your resume, he is a former world champion. Abdullah with another good performance. Dude, Noakes versus Abdullah is something we want to see. SGA is feminine, but he can play ball. James, Pacers game 2. What a comment. SGA is feminine, but he can play ball. That's an insane comment. Yeah, this isn't the 90s NBA, mate. You know what I'm saying? I miss those days too. But what are those odds? I'll make a bet fight involving stoppage too. Can you do statistics on Noakes? I'm going to formally. Yeah. So back to George. So I watched the Jake Wiley tape, and Wiley was winning a lot of the later rounds. So my point is, and Jake Wiley is a domestic guy here in Australia, who was a bigger dude who came down to fight George a couple weight classes. And when you look at George's work against Wiley, technically his work didn't look as clean as it used to look. You know, he puts his punches together. He's a scrappy style to kind of prepare for. He's not going to sit back and wait. I like watching George Cambosos fight. So to answer the question, Richardson Hitchens he's going to have the size advantage. Will there be a stoppage? I don't know, man. Sometimes the odds difference is too wide, so I can understand why people do knockout. Yeah, David, that's the point. Sometimes if the odds are way too wide and you want to get some action on a fight or add juice to the parlay, you're going to take a method of victory. But like I said, I don't put the method of victory prop bets on a parlay. I just either do money lines on one, method of victories. I know Muscles, he just messaged me his win. He hit big. He went heavy on a couple money lines, and he went heavy on a knockdown prop, and he won. I think Hitchens is another pillow. Yeah, called him Klitchins. Yeah, or shit chins. George called him shit chins, too. The Cambosos tail fight is really fun watch. Agree. Hitchens got some pop. Hitchens is long, too. He's tricky in there. He has a good amateur pedigree, world champ. I was impressed with how he looked against Pero. But if there's not a wide difference, you should do not to go the distance. Yeah, so I've had more luck recently on will the fight go the distance. What's going on? What's up, DJ? Shit chins. Yeah, that was my favorite George nickname for Richardson. Shit chins. It's hilarious. But think about being a boxing champion, even being a little kid, and your last name is Hit Chins. Comes in like, yeah, he's big, man. And you can tell when he's training if you look at him when he peels the shirt. The dude's big. Yeah. Oh, Tito. Well, Tito's fighting this weekend. You can't look too far past. I don't like predicting future opponents when a fighter has a fight coming up. You know, Mercado's fighting Jonathan Montreal, who's 19-3. Andy Cruz, yeah, we're covering that. Obviously, Andy Cruz, I'm leaning towards, but I'm breaking that video down. Cruz is 5-0. Mashiro's tough, guys. Mashiro's tough. Mashiro's 17-1-1. That's a good fight, guys. Andy Cruz versus Mashiro. That's on the Hitchens card. I don't think there's much chance Hitchens stops Cam. If you think about it, Lombo stopped him late, too. We need that Vargas Dynasty versus DB3, bro. The storylines. We love a good storyline. Boxing's known for it. I don't know. Would you... There's what... It's like the one Vargas brother... yeah, I don't know. I ran into a situation where Regis knocked a guy out named Red Cash with a body shot and the fight went to the cars because the guy faked a low blow. Do you favor Norman over Sasaki? I'm kind of 50-50 until I really watch Sasaki's tape. We got about a week and a half. Tito takes him out, 4.5. Barrera, Ronnie Hines is a heavyweight fight. Love it. Yeah, it's on the cards too. Barrera's 12-0. Hines is 14-0. That's for the Continental. I really have to dive into that too. The heavyweights kind of scare me. Did you guys watch that heavyweight fight in New York? That was a terrible heavyweight fight this weekend. The one in New York. Those guys. And if you guys watch the Australian card, the Australian prelims were horrible. There were a couple fighters on the... this is not me being arrogant, what I'm about to say here. There were some Australian guys on that prelim card last night where it crossed my mind maybe I should take a fight. At 43, it crossed my mind. I was like, damn, these boys got a 4-rounder. I definitely could do some 4-round work right now and get on a prelim card. And I'm not talking trash. Like, I train every day. You know, I've been in shape since I was 16 years old. So I'm a lifelong athlete. I don't drink. I don't smoke. So I'm not coming from a place of delusion. I'm watching some of these guys on the Australian prelim card, and you can YouTube it. And I'm thinking to myself, and like, I'm not coming at it from an arrogant spot. I was like, I could give these guys real good work. Their cardio's faded after 2 minutes. I'm like, what the? Did these guys not do road work? It was ridiculous. It was insane. I kind of felt embarrassed. I was hoping that none of my American people were watching those Aussie prelims because it did not look good. And the commentators were gaslighting. He's getting real good work in. No, these cats are nice and awful. And the fight, whenever I see two dudes who are under 30, who are fighting at, lighter weight class than me, I walk around at 184, 185 pounds, and I have like 8% body fat. I don't take any supplements. I'm 43. I have a visible, you can see my abs. And I'm looking at guys in their 20s fighting who way lighter than me, and you can't see their muscle composition, their body composition in their 20s isn't where it should be. I'm thinking, like, these dudes are suspect. Like, these cats were just on the construction site. Oliver McCall at 60. I saw that to a draw. I know, McCall, he should not be in the ring. Oliver McCall. Pereira is most likely winning that. Hines, I missed this. Machine got 14 wins, 7 knockouts. Man, I learned so much from you guys. We're obviously talking about... I don't even see that. Maybe you're talking on the other card. I haven't got to see that. I know Juan Francisco Estrada. We covered him about 2 months ago. He's a fun little fighter. Yeah, Juan Francisco Estrada. Isn't that El Gato? Yeah, he's back. He retired and then came back. Yeah, we covered 44. Juan Francisco Estrada. We last saw him fight Bam Rodriguez. So we haven't seen him since June. He's fighting Kareem Arsulago, who's 21-2. Yeah, the Blizzard versus Ogden match was... Okay, James, I'm talking about... That was on the main event. That was a great fight. Rocky Ogden. Yeah, the New Zealand... The Tasmanian fighter lives in Thailand. Blizzard looked real good. You got to go the first 2 fights I'm talking. They were 4-rounders. Off topic, but I didn't know Bud Crawford was... Bro, I fought... Right? Gold member. On his Instagram, I went down a rabbit hole yesterday, too. I was shocked. Late at night, Bud posts this thing on his Insta story talking about like I was single. The Atomic Bull. I haven't been working out as much as I should. I work around a lot of annoying middle-aged employees. Just overtime. My job is a desk job. Yeah, salute to you, though. We should have the B sample result. I know. We saw Omar Munguia got stopped this weekend. I know, man. What are we thinking about that, Jaime? There's been some unfortunate news in boxing, man. The Jaime Munguia test, I thought I read it wrong. Same. And then I Instagram stalked the mother of his children, and she's posting motivational quotes about I'm the one in the future, and Bud Crawford's posting God quotes. I'm like, oh, this is not good. I was watching Japanese fights at prelims at GC yes, all right. Ali Penful, you know what I'm talking about. That's why I don't think I'm too off base when I'm like, shoot, I might take a fight out here. Like, I wonder what they're paying. I definitely could get 4-round work, 100%, dude. We take 20-second, we do 10 3-minutes. We do 10 3-minute rounds, and we take 20 seconds of rest in between. And I've been doing that for years. Before the pandemic, I used to run a gym in the city. I was at the club with Lil Boozy. I was like, what the F? I'm so confused. I used to run a gym in the city and like it was like a commercial gym. So you had a lot of personal trainers who just did fitness. And we had a boxing side. And all these guys would always challenge me to spar. And the one rule I have, if you guys are like, boxers, but now, you do it as like a passion and you're in public and somebody wants to spar, have a rule that I have. I would tell these guys and I didn't know them. I was like, the only way we're sparring is we're doing 3-minute rounds, because all these guys were like, dude, let's spar. Let's do a 1-minute round. Say, hell nah. If we're sparring, we're doing 8 3-minutes. And, you're going to watch them run out of gas and you're going to drown them. And they never want to do it. I see Bud at 36. He seems to be physical-wise. Yeah, I'm a huge Bud Crawford fan, guys. But I don't agree with that. I'm a huge Bud Crawford fan. But I don't know what to expect against Canelo. Doing your routine homework or whatever, listen to it. What did I miss, Gold member? Canelo, what did I miss? I want to hear what interview. Things are flying by. Best channel in boxing. Carlos, I appreciate you. Bud walked in Norfolk like he owned the place. Bud, yeah, Bud's a beast. How sick was the Wardley comeback? It was amazing. I don't know if I was live streaming it. Johnny, did you feel Troy deserved the decision? Man, we won money on Troy Isley, and he was a huge, huge favorite. But I'm not mad at that decision. Shannon Sharp interview of Bud. Oh, yeah, I watched that. Explain the situation with him. Okay, yeah. I thought, but, I've never seen him on Instagram say that he was single. Thanks to my backup parlay bet with Wardley. There you go, Carlos. For sure, bro. Good luck now. He put me on game on the Bud Shannon Sharp. Yeah, that was a little while ago. Shannon Sharp, man. He's trying to dodge his own demons. Did you guys hear about the details? Him and his OnlyFans girlfriend? When you read the details, though, of like the kinky stuff Shannon was into, Shannon was a dog in his playing days. And people are shocked when they hear about these alpha, world-class, millionaire athletes. They get shocked when they hear about their kinky, how they act in the bedroom. It's insane. It's like, people are nosy, mate. But he was into a lot of Shannon. Shay Shay's out here wild. I'm so old. I remember when Shannon was the little brother, because I'm a Sterling Sharp guy. So his brother Sterling, when he was playing receiver for the Green Bay Packers, I don't know if Sterling made it to the Hall, but in my opinion, in his day, Sterling Sharp was a top 5 NFL receiver. Abdullah Mesa was going to fight Cabrera. Would have been cool to compare performance to Zepeda. World-class fruit props. Yeah, Shannon Sharp. But Abdullah Mason now, that kid's stock, right? 21 years old. OSU versus Texas, 1 hoodie. I'm a Buckeye. Come on now. Arching along. No way. Honestly, thought Shannon was gay. Shannon's temperament. I mean, I never assume somebody's sexuality. The guy, Mar, you think I would sit here and tell you I'm going to tell you the Buckeyes are going to lose to Texas? You out here high. OHIO. We about to get that Longhorn work. Come on. What he likes in the bedroom, not a fucking hate. The only really episode I ever watched on on Shannon Sharp's podcast was the Cat Williams. Mate, when that Cat Williams episode dropped, I was down a rabbit hole. Because I've been watching Cat good. I didn't know that. Sterling was a beast. I've been watching Cat Williams since the 90s. Oklahoma State or Ohio State, mate. Dude, I'm going to tell you the Buckeyes are going to win every game every year. Come on now. My uncle played there. My whole family went to Ohio State. I'm a diehard Buckeye. OHIO. My dad yelled at me when I was a kid. I think I was 7. The movie Rudy came out. True story. And I was so obsessed with the movie Rudy, I learned the Notre Dame fight song. I'm 7 years old. And my dad yelled at me. And at the time, Notre Dame had a player named Rocket Ishmael. They had Tony Rice at quarterback, Rocket Ishmael returning kicks, and I was a low-key Notre Dame fan. I'm 7. My dad yelled at me and said, there's only Buckeye fans in this house. So that scratched that. But Sterling had a high-pitched voice, was Jerry Rice's rival. I mean, you had that whole era of receivers were dope, though. You had Andre Rison. And this is just off the tip of my head. Carl Pickens, don't sleep. Cincinnati, Webster Slaughter in Cleveland. Houston Oilers had a whole slew of receivers. Curtis Duncan, Haywood Jeffries. I think boxing took a big hit after Keyshawn pulled out of the De Los Santos fight. I don't think David. I don't think one boxer has the power to make the sport take a hit. Boxing's a well-oiled machine in terms of the longevity, how old it is, how many stars there are. Because for every story like Keyshawn, you have a story like Fabio Wardley. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think one fighter controls the game like that. The biggest narrative on that is that Keyshawn, in my opinion, had an opportunity this weekend to break through to the mainstream. Not even like I'm talking mainstream media, and he did it for the wrong reasons. Now, when you Google his name, you know you got UK boxing analysts calling him a thug. I'm watching on YouTube. It's really unfortunate. And I said that it was unfortunate on my YouTube channel last night, and people were like, "There's nothing unfortunate about it." I'm coming at it from a boxing fan. Miss weight is supposed to be 140. Yeah. I mean, he didn't just miss weight. Keyshawn didn't cut. July is her profile. Yep. There's so many fights coming up. Like I said, as soon as Friday starts, we got fights Friday. Right now, there's not a lot of big fights, but you know how I do on this channel. I'll get you guys amped up for some of these matchups. Like I said, El Gallo is back. Keyshawn could have contacted his opponent. Yeah, Carl Pickens, James, come on now. You know, we had a lot of them in that era. If we want to sit and think, we had a lot of them in that era. You go team to team. What do we guys? Carter replaced the Teo Haney fight on August 16th. What am I missing there? Let me know what you're referring to. Like I said, it's tough for me to look too far ahead. Shiraz. I think Edgar's hand speed is going to be too much for Shiraz. And for Shiraz to go to 168 and take Edgar first, that's a tall mountain. Keyshawn lost fans for sure. The thing about Berlanga is he will punch with you. He got pop in his hands, and he has good hand speed. And the thing about Shiraz is, at least what I saw against Adames, you sometimes could see he's not well-rounded, Shiraz. So you could, especially in that Adames fight, you could see him thinking about things too much. When you're at the highest level in boxing, the minute you start thinking about things, you start losing. I have Zepeda winning. I don't see it. I'm a William Zepeda fan. I don't see him beating Shakur style versus style. Do you think July 12th, Louis Armstrong card will have 4 fights similar to Times Square? We'll see, man. I don't want to compare anything to Times Square. That card was hard to watch. I'm looking forward to the Yafa fight on the 21st. Itoma versus White. Okay, that's the card that was announced. I don't feel comfortable with Sam Goodman moving up to 26. He wasn't even a big 22 guy, and he doesn't have pop at 22. You guys excited WC Grand Prix? He got a gift in the Adames fight. He did. He definitely lost that fight. If Stevenson output is low, Haney. Yeah, so I'm excited for the matchup of Stevenson Zepeda. I just don't think that Zepeda beats him. I mean, there's a lot of ways, the path to victory for Zepeda is pressure. I mean, is there another guy who literally just hits the gas tank like that? Farmer versus Kid Austin. Who you got, Farmer? If Sam Goodman pulls out this fight, it's his own fault if he gets blacklisted. Yeah, I don't like Goodman at 26, man. I wasn't loving him. You know, I've watched Sammy Boy fight live his last 5 fights. You know, he's very skilled. He's a skilled boxer. But I'm pissed that it rearranged the whole 126 bout on the WC Grand Prix. I got to take a look at it. Alcatraz idea, same. I have Farmer. Yeah, I think Farmer's career is similar to Sandor Martin, guys. These guys are so close with some of their fights. They lose so many close decisions. And even though Farmer lost his last fight against Zepeda, by the end of that fight, I was like, dude, Tevin still got it. Tevin is a nightmare for anybody. And I don't think Floyd, I've yet to be sold on Kid Austin in terms of watching him fight and be like, okay. I mean, I understand the hype around him, marketable. I know. Dude, Ali, the weekend was insane. We had 24-hour straight of fights. Brandon Mosqueda in the end. No, Troy Nash even confirmed it. They keep everything else the same, but I feel like they did Troy Nash, Brandon Mosqueda. Yeah, the Farmer versus Austin. Like I said, I think that's a bad matchup for Austin, but I know his camp thinks that, you know, Farmer's, 35 now? A lot of miles on the tank. But when you hear Tevin talk, even after his most recent defeats, he's not a guy who's like a gatekeeper. He still has that chip on his shoulder and must feel more comfortable in Vegas and Saudi. I think a lot of fighters would probably feel more comfortable in Vegas and Saudi, except Shiraz. Blair Cobb's being active. I want to see Blair Cobb's fight, mate. We haven't seen Cobb since Broner. Berlanga going to stop Shiraz? I think so too, mate. Same. I think, James, I like Berlanga a lot in that fight. You know a guy who was really high on? Yeah, I wasn't, though, guy. David, I'm always hesitant when fighters are being propped up by certain promotions. And I always, in Silva, yeah, H2O. And, you know, a lot of the people who were telling me about him were kind of like on the fringe of the YouTube fighters. I know he's a legit fighter. I'm not saying he's a YouTube fighter, but the promotion. Have you seen Blair Cobb's Shadowbox? I think he got known because of that. Well, join. Blair Cobb's got known for a documentary. It came out 10 years ago about him being homeless. So a lot of people in the boxing game have known about Blair Cobbs for years. This guy was sleeping in his car, crossing the border. His story's quite documented. Morning, John. 12 leg, let's go. Kid Austin didn't look good in his last fight. He got dropped and turned his back. Yeah, like I said, Havelock, I'm not sold on Kid Austin, Floyd Schofield. I'm not. I think it's a bad matchup. Hitchin easy money against Cambo. Yeah, I think where the money's going to be is how that fight ends. Where's the next? Carlos, I'm uploading Tito Mercado today. I remember when Silva was supposed to fight Schofield. Yeah, and I remember he was favored. The fight he lost. Oh, how crazy would it be if they added MMA on the Canelo card? I don't know. I don't know if I'd like that. Silva will be just fine. Bahati is highly ranked. HCO is a slick, but no, he could box. I had Junto winning 1-6. Yeah, Junto's an animal. They use Informer like Gamboa. Yeah, and man, look at, it's wild. Look, but the difference is how they lose. Farmer's not going out. Farmer's not losing like Gamboa was losing in his career. If you can beat him, yeah, the fact that Silva was promoted by Jake Paul. So initially, David, that's always hard for me to be sold on him. Callum Simpson getting dropped twice, same Ollie. But then it showed the heart he has. And hats off to Zuko too. He's talking about the Callum Simpson Zuko fight. We'll see what they do with Callum now. Usually you win that belt that he won, you're in contention for either world contender or world title. Gamboa beats. Yeah, dude, Gamboa's a Emmer effer. If YouTube won, Gamboa, early young Gamboa, dude. Young Gamboa was a monster. Nobody wanted to fight him. People forget when Gamboa turned pro and how his work looked. Schofield, but when that's your fight style, like Gamboa, that's your fight style. It doesn't suit you the older you get. You know what I mean? It doesn't suit you the older you get. Farmer has a totally different fight style, so Farmer has way less tread on his tire, or way more tread on his tires. By the time Gamboa was in his late 20s, I hate using the word, but I don't want to say he was shot, but taking all those, and look at the weight classes he was fighting in as well. He was coming up as well. He didn't stay put. So styles really matter too in terms of the longevity of a guy's career. I really think Tevin Farmer could still do things. I didn't think so until what he looked like against Zepeda, and Zepeda couldn't get him out of there. He was frustrating Zepeda. Tevin literally got shot. No, right? Tevin got shot. Gamboa was favored over Bud. Yeah, exactly. Johnny, what do you think of a fight between Bam versus Junto? I love that fight, man. I just think Junto's size, they fight at 118. I was wrong with Abdullah going distance. Yeah. You said it. I didn't. I said Abdullah was going to stop him. How much did you laugh when Crawford said the biggest puncher he fought was Crawford, man. He's, like I said, he's my guy. I'm a huge fan. Ricky, I like, when you ask Bud Crawford himself, he always goes back to that fight when he won the world title at 135. I think he went to Ireland. Ricky, his last name he was a 3-weight world champion, and he always refers to that fight in the UK as being one of his favorite fights. Abdullah opponent looks shot. Yeah, and we thought he would, man. Jeremiah Nakatani, Ricky Burns. Yeah, this is one of my favorite fights. No, it was Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns versus Bud when Bud won the title at 35, and they're still really close friends. And the UK media really jumped on board with Crawford and always showed him love. That's the one thing I like about the UK. You go over there as an American, you beat one of their guys, they kind of adore you. I explained, and EJ did the same when EJ went over and stopped. Dude, my name, you know who I'm talking about. Good boy at the fast hand next to Gary Russell Jr. Dude, talking about Gary Russell, Kel Brook. Yeah, thanks, Mark. That's why you boys, you guys have my back. You know who I'm talking about. But that was a fun fight, man. I get kind of sad even talking about old EJ fights, because we know about the aura, the energy he had before the crash. I hate again 50-50 fights, Fabio, Faber, and Hooney. Yeah, go. My saving grace was not doing the money line on Hooney and Fabio. I did the knockdown, and I was live streaming if you caught it. And yeah, so you caught my reaction in the 10th when we saw what unfolded, but I did win that bet as well. I did that with Josh Kelly stoppage. Fabio wins a rematch as well. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to see the rematch right away. Nakatani is a cop, dude. Yeah, is a cop. LOL. Scotland. Yeah. In your head, if you're Justice, you know what I'm saying? If you're in your head, if you're Justice Huni, when you box that well for so long, and the first thing that comes out of your, I don't like what he said in ring. Maybe he was concussed when he said, this is like, he said, don't quote me on this, but Justice said, this is kind of like my luck. What's next for Bacoli and FA unless Bacoli loses weight? Mate, I don't know. I'm not big on Bacoli right now. I could picture him saying beachhead, go remember everything. Yeah, the scene in next Friday at Pinky's record store. You the motherfucker. With that's one of my favorite movies. I love Friday, and I grew up. I could quote almost every word. Here's a little fun fact: Miss Parker, and this is me not. I'm not. What do you young people say? This is me not capping. I'm not trying to get street cred. But my dad used to date. This is when they were in high school with Miss Parker. So Miss Parker from Friday One, Miss Parker. Her real name's Kathleen Bradley. She's from Youngstown, Ohio. She grew up with my father. They were high school sweethearts. So that was my dad's claim to fame. He used to date Miss Parker when they were younger. True story. But next Friday at the record store, Pinky. Craig, is this your cousin? You know, somebody mentioned Gary Russell Jr. I love the beef that Gary Russell Jr. and Bud had a couple years ago. You can still find those videos on YouTube. Gary Russell, yeah, they were supposed to scrap when they were amateurs. They were talking about a fight maybe 3-4 years ago when they were trying to ice out. Yeah, Miss Parker, Miss Parker. See, the weed be letting you know evil lurks. But mate, classic. JR and Andy Hiroka. Would you give Crawford a chance? Crawford against a prime Triple G? Come on, man. When we're talking about that, what's prime Crawford? Is prime Crawford the guy against Madrimov at 54? Is prime Crawford the guy at 47 against EJ? Is prime Crawford the guy we're about to see at 68? We know what prime Triple G is. We know what weight class he was weighing in at. Okay, so you're saying prime Crawford at 54, Triple G? I mean, I don't like doing those mythical matchups. Kelly's my age. So I'm 43. His birthday's April 9th. I'm April 27th. So I would rather see Pavlik. I think Pavlik versus Triple G is the real question. Pavlik versus Andre Ward. Kelly was supposed to fight Paul Williams. I'd love to see Pavlik versus Paul the Punisher. I'm about to watch a Friday marathon. Do it. People, dude, next Friday, man, you got Casper from Kids in there. You got Aztec Warrior. What you do to my doggo? Oh, I fucking love that movie. This was back in my stoner days. Tommy Hearns versus Triple G. I have Hearns. I don't want to disrespect, dude. Tommy the Hitman Hearns, the Motor City Cobra. Come on. Anyone above Hooney level, Wardley loses against. Anybody above Hooney level. I mean, there's not a lot of heavyweights. There's not a lot of heavyweights above Hooney's level. We're talking boxing level? Yeah. There you go. Cabal, Agent Cabal, beast. No more locked doors. I'm bilingual. There's a difference. Gary Russell Jr. broke Bud's jaw with one shot. Next Friday was the worst one, but I love. You thought next Friday was the worst one. I thought Friday after next. Because Friday after next was the one that Ice Cube funded out of his pocket. And you could tell it was shot. You could see it was shot kind of more low budge. Wardley only needs one punch. He's Joe Joyce. Like, yeah. Gary, yeah. Gary broke Bud's jaw. That was insane. I didn't know about that. Guys, wherever you're tuning in, like this video. 30 AP, whenever you guys are on, like the video, comment. We got a good chat going on. We got multiple conversations. Bud getting his jaw broke. Who needs a skill boxer? Just chinny. Yeah, David, it's that focus. And it's that ego. So it's the ego. After next, I love the Christmas theme. Okay. Not a lot of Christmas themed hood movies. I understand it on that element. Yeah, there's some I just feel like the good moments, the funny bits, the quotable lines, it was lacking that. Gary Russell, sucker punch Crawford. I liked all of them. I don't like how Wardley's relying. Yeah. And you know, in the breakdown and Hooney was doing everything right. It's like you exchange with Wardley when you're winning every round. It was insane. He could have danced for 2 rounds and won that fight. You're not a Crawford fan. To each their own. If they make a new Friday movie, they definitely have to add Keyshawn to it. Ah, mate. Yeah, use these. Keyshawn, man. Where does he go from here? 140. Who does he fight? What do his promoters do? Bob Arum was salty. The Virginia fans. Did you guys see the popcorn video? Wait, John, did you see they had Fabio up on all... What? I didn't see that. I thought I saw the picture of the scorecards. Hooney was up. No, Hooney was up on the scorecards. You heard about that influencer, Aaron the Plumber, having his boxing debut at Misfits. I only know about Aaron the Plumber because my boy Will Mills on Instagram clowns him all the time. Do you guys follow Will Mills on Instagram? And at the #1 spot, the dude is always like, pack you up. He always clowns Aaron the Plumber, so I had to Google him. I never heard of him. Keyshawn and Sandor would be good. Google it if you think I'm lying. Call me on some BS. FO8. Yeah, I think you're talking about Bud getting his jaw broken. No wonder he couldn't lose the weight. He was. Popcorn was insane. Over everyone at 160. I like Yenli Hernandez, dude. Mate, when he's walking you down, dude, his traps are over his ears and his guard's here and he's throwing bombs, dude. Yenli Hernandez is a nightmare. We just won a lot of money on him 2 weeks ago. So I know, Murtazaev, what are we doing with Bakram, mate? Come on, let's get a Bakram fight. Benavidez versus Bivol needs to happen. Yes, I think they're going to do the trilogy, though, right? Kyron Davis, round 12, is 140 is scary Keyshawn. He can possibly only beats 2 champs. Oh, yeah, my bad. I read the... Yeah, goat. Dude, is your girlfriend texting you? That's my mom. My mom's texting me. Sweet Rosie, my little Italian mother. She's in Ohio. Am I the only one that thought it told me William got robbed? We talked about it earlier. Yeah, I wasn't mad about the judges because I had, before Conwell lost, people forgot Merlot was actually ducking Conwell. Hearing it's likely Boots moves to 54. I think so, too. I think that Boots versus Murtazaev, I would love to watch that fight. Maybe Boacek. Boacek versus Murtazaev. What does Boacek do? It looked like What's up, Blessings? It looked like Boacek took a fight off against Michael Fox. He won the fight. It was kind of a stinker. But I think the Murtazaev style would make for good... No, my mom's not watching the stream. Maybe she would message. De La Santa's getting a fight on the Pac-Man card. I think probably a tune-up. He should, and that's the tough thing about Edwin and fighters, guys, and we talk about this all the time. When you cut weight and your fight's canceled, does Murtazaev have anything lined up? Nah, I can't find anything on Bakram. I follow his Instagram. He always does. So he needs a marketer. Murtazaev could use to pay for a little bit of marketing. Because all of his videos, you could tell he's a monster. All of his videos, he's doing pad work with his coach in this not well lit room. It's not that good. The word Doug, how do you do weekend? I did good. The only fight I lost was the Joseph Hicks Jr. fight. But I hit Method of Victories. I hit Josh Kelly first round. I hit a UFC parlay. You guys reminded me, a 4-legger. I told you Mario Batista was going to beat Patchy Mix. Is Barrios getting a stoppage? I can see it. Time to roll a blunt and have a beer. Landslide. That sounds good, man. I wish I still smoked. But yeah, that used to be me. Did Ice Cube pay out a pot? Yeah. It looks like it. What's up, Johnny? Keyshawn, Boots versus Zayas. Zayas versus Perez Garcia is a good fight. I think Xander should be able to beat Chino, but you never know. I thought Chino was going to lose to Conwell, and he looked good. I just think Conwell was more exposed a little bit on not having a plan B. We documented that fight. We covered that fight. We streamed it. And a lot of us were saying the same thing. It was wild to see Chino's boxing IQ win him that fight. Conwell, he would just smother his work and fight on the left side. We're in a weird with Boacek not stopping. Michael was not expected. Same. Yeah, but Michael Fox didn't really bring it to Boacek. So what I think we learn more is that why they say styles make fights. When you put Virgil in front of Boacek, you're going to see a different fight. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, like this video, guys. It'll help the video. It's 7:30 in the morning. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer. Does Hitchens get the stoppage over Cambosos? I'm going to upload that video. I've been watch Cambosos a couple months ago against Jake Wiley, an Aussie domestic guy. There's not a lot of good things to like, especially later in that fight. So I could see Hitchens stopping him later. I definitely can. I could see him kind of outpointing him early, fighting George's fight early, and then kind of working the body a bit, and then maybe I'm not going to give you my prediction yet, but I can see that happening. Question of the day: would Mayweather be able to beat 10 champions in today's time? I don't know, man. How do you do the math on that? Question: who is your favorite heavyweight boxer at the moment? My favorite heavyweight, King's birthday. My favorite heavyweight at the moment. It's a good question. American, I really like watching Kiki Torres. I do. I like him. He's not a finished product. He's young. He had a good amateur career. Every time Kiki Torres fights, I document him, and I think that he could develop. I'm big on Hooney too, though. I still like Justice Hooney. Hooney's a dog. No Hitchens probably won't get the stoppage. Yeah, I don't know yet where I'm gonna. I think the distance is the smart money gold member. If we want to be smart about it, 154 ain't even that good. I think 154 has a chance of changing a lot in the next 12 months. Like I said, 154 is good, man. What are you talking about? There's some killers at 54. I do like Kiki, mate. I do like just because he's kind of he doesn't take life too serious. Like I like his personality. He seems like a cool dude, and he seems like a student of the game. I like kind of guys. I like fighters who are like down to learn and develop themselves. And you hear him talk, he'll be the first to tell you he's not a finished product. Dude, 154 has some killers. Did I just read a comment? It ain't that deep. You guys are insane. Dude, look at the top 15 at 54. There's guys that we don't even talk about that are really, really good fighters. Do you have a chance to check out this Zoo boy? I saw that he was too big of a favorite. I couldn't bet on him. Madrimov, Ortiz, Fundora, Zoo, Bakum. Dude, you guys never give Fundora love. Seb Fundora is a nightmare for anybody to fight. Virgil, I think Boots is going to go to 54. Virgil's one of my favorite fighters. Why was the Mahoney fight canceled? He put it on his Instagram. He talked about it. He did like a 90-second video. That was the fight I wanted to see most on the card was Mahoney. 54 is arguably yeah. I just think maybe, sometimes we don't think about things before we speak. Is this another? I think it is blessings. We don't have the odds yet, and there's not going to be. Sometimes I make more money, guys, when we don't have a lot of fights. My personality, I get a bit too big-eyed, like 24 hours straight of boxing. I'm like, oh, I could get money here, or there's action here. And next thing you know, you got the same fight on 2 different parlays. And you're like, what am I doing, dude? So I kind of like weeks like this that are coming up when there's not a lot of, there are still 4 cards. Xander Zayas, of course, we know he's fighting Chinito. Look at the champions there. Mendoza ain't fought since Charlo. Brian Mendoza, yeah, he did. He fought Tim Zhu. I watched Brian Mendoza fight Zhu in Australia. Tellers went the distance. Great fighter. We don't talk about him. They just throw fighters away. Yeah. 54 is a fun division, mate. I'm not mad. It wasn't. Brian Castano, bro, same will be King. Xander Zayas, sorry, my bad. I think Castano, yeah. I thought that was right. The chat goes so quick. We haven't seen him since Charlo. X, not a Z. Xander Zayas. Yeah, one's an X, one's a Z. It's not double Z, not double X. Should be an easy tune-up for Boots. Gabriel Fundora, what are your thoughts? I'm a huge fan of Gabby Fundora. I cover every time Gabby fights. I'll do breakdown videos on Gabby Fundora. And she got popped, dude. Look at her last fight against I know she wasn't Baldino, but forget her last name, but she won by stoppage. I won a lot of money on Gabby. And for a female fighter who fights like her, you don't see that a lot. She has a lot of class. She has a lot of class in her punching. She doesn't smother a lot of work. It's what I talk about when I cover the female fights. You see a lot of headbutting because you see that in the amateurs with boxers, a lot of headbutts because they're on the front foot, they smother their work, their balance is off, and you see that in the girls a lot. Not Gabby. Gabby's on that pop, 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 punching down. She's fun to watch. Brian Mendoza's never fought Charlotte. I think he was talking about Castano, a gold member. Yeah, he was talking about Castano, and I should have knew that. We were talking about the 154-pound division, Tim Zhu. I thought you were talking. Yeah, it was a Freudian slip. I think we figured that one out. But yeah, Gabby Fundora is probably one of my favorite girl fighters to watch. Mayweather struggled with Logan Paul. Come on, Joinker. Are we really talking about Mayweather struggling with Logan Paul? That's not a serious comment? No fan. I'm not going to answer that one. He struggled with Logan Paul. I thought he was going to talk about like Floyd Mayweather struggling with Shane. How Shane had moments early on and then Shane rocked Floyd and then Floyd figured Shane out. Or how, Floyd struggled with Maidana and then he goes Floyd struggled with Logan Paul. Come on, man. What are we talking about? 2 hours, Thunder. What are the odds on that? I've been winning money on the NBA scoring and rebound prop parlays, by the way. I don't post my other bets because I don't want you guys to think I'm degenerate. Who's your goat in boxing? Good question. My favorite fighter of all time that I never got to watch is Homicide Hank, Henry Armstrong. I did a documentary on him a couple years ago. He's a golden era fighter. Research Henry Armstrong, in my opinion, the best nickname ever, Homicide Hank. My favorite fighter that I got to see live because I'm friends with him, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik. And my favorite fighter of my childhood growing up watching, maybe because I was a kid, was Arturo Gatti. But Sugar Ray Leonard is in, I put him in the same category. I love watching Ray fight. I love watching Marvin Hagler fight. I love watching Oscar De La Hoya fight. Dude, when I was a kid watching De La Hoya, there's Tito Trinidad, when Trinidad was coming up, mate. That Tito Trinidad De La Hoya fight, I remember I was 17 years old. I'll never forget where I was. I was at a house party. And I can't believe how good Oscar looked early and how he let Tito come back and win that fight. Who do you think is the best? So Ray Leonard beats Mayweather Prime. I wouldn't bet against Ray. Best for top rank, yes. Golden Boy, great matchmaking. I've been low-key winning money on the Pro Box cards. I know because the odds are juicier. Kelly trained with Rob. Yeah, later on in his career, Kelly went out west to train with RBG and Ellie's. Yeah, for sure. DLH got robbed, clearly. Yeah. Well, yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I apologize whoever asked about Logan Paul and Floyd, but we're talking about boxing. What were you earlier? Sugar Ray was way faster than Manny. Sugar Ray Leonard, man. That era though, guys, they fought everybody. I don't expect Matias to do the same stuff fighting against Puello. GAR versus Roca, great fight matchup. I like it's tough to bet against GAR right now. Who's my favorite fighter at 154? I won a lot of money on Gabby too. Same stoppage based on their frame. Gabby takes a little bit more too. Who's my favorite fighter at 54? Or who's your favorite fighter at 54? It's a great question. I think it's a good question to have. Tough to bet against Bakram. True. Murtazaev. You know that you're only as good as your last fight. There's prospects there. There's contenders. I really think that in the next few years, Xander Zayas has an opportunity to break through. He's still young. I think Xander maybe is 22, 23. He might be even young. And I just like his work, how he goes about his training. Very marketable. He's a guy that I think is the next in line at 54. Obviously, if Boots moves up to 54, you put him in the conversation. The Tito versus Vargas. Yes, Tito versus Vargas fight. No, I forgot. Dude, Fernando Trinidad. Dude, Fernando Vargas versus Tito is a great fight. That era had some amazing wars. And then that era kind of Tellus has showed me in the J-Rock fight, this punching power is non-existent late in fights. You never know what's going on with these guys, too. J-Rock, really isn't an easy puzzle to solve. Everybody talks about what happened in the Charlo fight. But Tellus, he has some... Look at the top 15 at 54. Robesi Ramirez. Yeah, this is why the opposite to the conversation we're having about the Cubans is why I was beats top 5 10. I'm big on Kiki. This is why I was talking about Yenli Hernandez. To finish the point on the Cuban fighters, you guys are having the Robesi conversation. Is that Yenli has that Cuban background, but he goes for he'll knock you out. So he has all the dressings of that skilled defensive style. Even you watch his high guard, but he goes about his business trying to end your night. That's why he's a fun prospect. When Morrell lost, nearly broke my hand. You bet for Morrell? I picked Morrell to get stopped. We won a lot of money on Morrell getting stopped. I was shocked when I watched Tito versus Vargas, one of the best fights of all time. Exactly. That was an amazing fight. I'm going to have to revisit that one. But yeah, I was shocked how many people picked Morrell to beat Benavidez. Zoo beats Fandor in a rematch. I don't know, Ali. I don't know if Zoo beats Fandor in the rematch. I don't know. It's coming up. I'll let you know soon. I picked him to win the first fight. We'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know. I watched when he fought Joey Spencer, and then how Tim looked against Bakram. And then my problem against Spencer is that he didn't have to make any adjustments. And my problem with how Tim looked against Bakram is he didn't make any adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bakram, he thought he was just going to walk Bakram down. He thought at that level against a knockout artist, he was going to use that same style and stay on the midline, walk him down, not move his head, go punch to punch, and kind of grunt Murtazaev, and in between rounds, he had an opportunity between the first and second, made 0 adjustments, gets stopped, and then fights Joey Spencer, a guy on the domestic level, decent record, good record, came to Australia, but didn't force Tim to make any adjustments. So going into the Seb fight, I don't know, man. I don't know where I stand. I got Virgil stopping Tellez if they were ever to fight. Heard Skull versus Iglesias will happen. I hope Skull gets another fight, man. I think the critics came at him a little bit wrong. Was that a boring fight? Yeah. Is that the fight? Yeah. He barely had punch out, but I know. I think a lot of hate came Skull's way. I wasn't one of them. It was a boring fight. Yeah, it takes 2 to tango. Yeah. I think Skull. I'd be happy if Skull got another fight. I would definitely watch Skull fight again. Virgil's a beast. He needs to fight Zoo, Fundora winner. Virgil is a beast. Gabby Fundora box straight power. Yeah, you gotta love it. And she punches down, dude, because she's like 6 foot. It looks like she's 6'5". I think she's 5'9" on paper. Virgil's been getting on my nerves a little too. We should already be learning about his next move. Yeah, Jai versus Zerto, man. I think Apataya. Dude, Apataya is a goddamn. It'll be a fun fight. I got to see how they. I think Zerto's bigger than I think. I think Zerto, like, physicality is bigger than we think. And I think Jai looks bigger than we think. Jai's a big boy. But when you look, like, when he cuts and I was watching him last night, he doesn't carry a lot of extra weight on him, which is fine. He's a super athlete. We know Zerto is kind of a, has a lot of class to him. Does Usyk beating Opataya make him boxing's GOAT? I mean, Usyk has to beat Dubois first. I mean, right? I think that should be the question. Who you got? Galaya Fire, Francisco Rodriguez. It's a great fight. I'm going to break that fight down. Who's better at penalties, Spain or Portugal? James out here. Wild. Puello's probably one of the top guys. He's a world champion, Ethan. One of the top guys at 140. Oh, he's a world champion. I think Puello, we got to see him outbox GAR. We got to see him to a close fight against Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin might have edged him, but I won money on it. And I think Puello outboxes Matias. If Usyk beats Dubois inside 2, Apataya inside 6, I mean, that's a lot of ifs. I don't know if Usyk beats Dubois. I don't. What's the prop bet for the finals game 2? Johnny, stop playing. I'll post it. All right. I don't want to get into that habit of posting my NBA prop bets, but I like the scoring inside 2. I know. It's like, come on, man. I don't know. This version of Dubois is a different guy. Our most poly people are. Yeah, look, well, when I was 20 in college, I was taking a cultural anthropology class, and the whole assignment was studying indigenous people, picking people from a part of the world. So I chose islander people from the Polynesian islands. And the reason for this genetically is when you look at their, historically their diets consist of coconuts and fish from the sea. So, and you look at historically the most healthy monounsaturated fats coming from coconut milk, and you look at the relationship with the high protein diet on bone density, you see this. And then fish, we know the health benefits of fish, the omega-3s, and they don't have processed carbs. This is traditionally in their diet. So you see the Samoans, Jai Apatai. You see the Islanders. Think about Mark Hunt's physicality, his body type, famed kickboxer, MMA fighter. So historically, genetically speaking, it's due to the diets. So when we say larger, I'm talking bone density. When you're talking about height, this is actually his studies as well in cultural anthropology. You look at low-level lying areas of the world in terms of elevation and altitude. Low-lying levels like Sudan, so the Sudanese athletes, they're taller, right? Because the air is going to be thicker. So there's not a lot of mountainous. And then you look at mountainous regions throughout the world. The Mexican mountains in Mexico, people are shorter because the air is thinner. So humans evolved based on some of those topographical factors, and nutrition plays a point as well. It was one of my favorite classes I ever took was cultural anthropology, learning how cultures throughout the world live based on historical factors as well. It was so much breaking coconut milk that wasn't worth it to me. Shakur doesn't get plays called for him. He gets all his buckets. Oh, we're talking basketball. Guys, I got to run. It's Monday morning here. I gotta continue my workday. I'm uploading Tito Mercado today. Stay tuned to the channel. I might go live again. I might not. Like this video. Stay tuned to the channel. We're going live every day. We got a lot of fights this week. Let's make that money.